Hello everyone, this is your captain speaking, and welcome back to my playthrough of Belladonna. So, in our last episode, we saw the graveyard. We learned a little bit more about Kara and Belladonna's relationship, and a little bit more about what led to pretty much everybody dying. The only thing we don't know yet is why Wolfram is dead. We also have yet to answer who we are, because we did learn that Belladonna was turned into a mechanical person, but that still doesn't 100% say that we are Belladonna. Plus, as you can see, laying on the ground, we had to kill a cat, which I'm still not happy about, but we're going to proceed nonetheless.
The door is locked.
Okay, so we have 2 keys here. Let's try the tiny key
That makes no
first.
sense.
Okay, you don't have to be a total bitch about it. Let's try this one. Wow, they used the old AOL door opening thing for the door. Okay. Okay, this is a big ass empty room with a journal page. As my consciousness grows stronger, so does my hatred for my husband. Each morning he brings me with him down to the laboratory and places me in a corner. There I will stand for the rest of the day, still as a statue, silent as death. Occasionally he will throw me a glance or a smile. I find my body smiling warmly back, almost like a reflex. This indoctrination disgusts me. I am a living decoration, a breathing statue of flesh, his wind-up toy bride. But little does he suspect, my eyes are darting across the room, secretly and attentively, following his smallest movements. I carefully memorize each step he takes, every note he writes down, every tiny detail of his ghoulish discovery. If only he knew how fast I am learning, what a willing student I am. As of late, he has even picked up the habit of explaining his scientific work aloud. It helps him think, I suppose, and I nod and smile and give little encouraging laughs at all the right places. He is muttering his darkest secrets to me, and I drink it all up. And oh, if only he knew just how close he brushes with his own demise. Hundreds of times each day he is close enough to me for my hands to reach up and snap his neck, my strong fingers around his throat, slowly squeezing his precious life out of him. But no matter how close he stands, my arms will not move. I am a prisoner in my own corpse, staring out through glassy eyes, but unable to will any action into my own dead limbs. Call for me and I will walk. Ask me a question and I will talk, but my rotting brain is unable to form initiatives of its own. I am a golem following orders. Yet with each passing night my willpower grows stronger. I write my thoughts down diligently and practice my mental capacities with all the resolve I have. The results are slow but reliable. One day soon I will have the tenacity to strike, and as soon as that time comes, strike I will. One of these days his lovely life-size doll will suddenly find the power within her to execute her swift revenge. So, she was learning how to make creation, to bring the dead back to life like he was. So my theory might still be correct. We might be Clara instead of Belladonna. But that does bring us closer to saying that Belladonna was the one that killed Wolfram. Okay, I don't think there's anything else to do in this room. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, this looks like it's a bedroom of some kind. Let's check the wardrobe.
That's a big wardrobe. I bet you could hide a corpse in there. Actually, I better not open it and check.
Okay, was that foreshadowing? Locker.
Let's take a look inside.
Rope?
Coils of rope. I wonder why we're keeping rope in the bedroom.
Giggity. We all know why they were keeping rope in the bedroom, don't we? Okay, so let's
The
examine
lid is
this,
shaped
but I'm
like a
guessing...
heart and has a tiny keyhole. Whatever's inside must be very precious.
I'm guessing this key goes to that.
I wonder if this key fits. There's a key hidden
a
inside.
big key.
A very important one. The mirror is
Let's check out the
completely
broken
shattered.
mirror.
I think someone in here didn't really like their reflection.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Oh, hello. Hi. Hi there. Who are you? Journal page.
A note.
Failure. The attempt was a failure. I could not lure my lost lover back into her deceased corpse. All my preparations in vain. All alone now. No one to turn my key. Interesting. I think I may have been right. Let's look at her.
Is she dead? She doesn't move a muscle, yet she sits upright. She's like a mannequin of human flesh.
Let's look out
At
the
least the
window
view is
before
nice
we
from up
do what
here.
I know we need to do. Okay. So let's take the big key and do this. Let's see what happens. Oh, hello. Hi.
Clara, it really is you.
Ha!
I'm so
I was
certain
right.
I'd never see you again. You didn't wake up.
I woke up. I've been wandering lost ever since, trying to find out what's going on.
How are you feeling? Do you remember me?
I have no memories of you, or of myself, but I found some notes lying around. I can only assume you're the one called Belladonna?
I am Belladonna, murdered and reanimated by Dr. von Trauerschloss. At first a mindless mechanical doll, but I slowly regained control over my brain. And when the time was right, I broke free.
I saw the doctor's body.
Yes, I crushed his skull. Standing over his blood-soaked remains, I was free at last.
But where did I come from? If he was dead, was it you who brought me back?
Yes, my love. You were the only thing on my mind as I stood there, alone and victorious. I had secretly watched the doctor's process, and I desperately wanted to believe that I could get you back. I unearthed your grave and carried your dead body down to the laboratory. I did everything right, to the smallest detail, but you didn't wake up. And my time was running out. I can't turn my own key, and now that I was alone in the castle, I knew my life force would run out quickly. But for all my effort, you remained dead, and with no one to keep me vital, I eventually sat down here and just stopped.
But I did wake up.
Yes, apparently you did. Your body had been in the ground for quite some time. Perhaps that made the reanimation process slower, but with your key powering your brain directly, you did not have to go through the drawn-out, sluggish wake-up. I take it your cognitive powers and language have been with you from the start.
Well, yes.
Excellent. Then I have even improved on the doctor's method, but I doubt independent thinking and free will was ever in his interest to reproduce.
Do you think you could do it again?
Create more of us, you mean? Yes, I hold the secret of life and death, and I plan to use it. The experimentations must continue.
And the two of us will have no place in this world.
Quite right. So, we'll make us a place. Dead bodies will never be in short supply. We'll make more of our kind, a whole new race of the damned.
Where do we start?
I know for a fact that there's a fresh body lying out there in the Great Hall.
The doctor.
His flesh, at least. We won't be using his wretched brain. I've already destroyed it in any case. But the body will do. We will have to find a few other ingredients. Will you help me?
Of course I will.
Thank you, my love. I'll carry the body down to the laboratory and start with the preparations, and in the meantime you can help me with a few other things. The doctor's brain is completely destroyed. I made sure of that. I don't think any of us want his villainous brain back amongst us. We're going to need to find a new one. Secondly, we will also need some clockwork parts. We have to manufacture a force to keep the dead body going. Thirdly, not only the brain, but also the head and the cranium were damaged. If we can find a new head, that would save a lot of reconstructing effort.
Okay, so it turns out I was right. We're Clara instead of Belladonna. And now we have to apparently repair the doctor.
I saw a brain preserved in alcohol down in the laboratory.
Oh, you did? That's good. That, my dear, is the brain of baby Lucas.
Your son?
Your son?
Lucas was never buried. The doctor had the body cremated very quickly and thus incinerated all the evidence that the corpse was not complete. He had stolen the brain and kept it for himself. I don't know what he claimed about not planning on resurrecting his child, but the truth is that he kept the brain all the same.
And now you want your child back.
Now you want your child back?
No, my dear. It's just a brain. I wanted you back, so I took great care to preserve your personality. But this brain is young and has been dead for very long. I suppose the creation will be my child, in a way, but not my son Lucas.
Clockwork.
Yes, we need something to supply the body with the force to move. We can't make the heart beat again, so we use the spring-loaded clockwork. In the future, we'll have to think of a source of parts more reliable than salvaging old-time pieces, but that'll do for now.
I see.
Thank you.
So where do we find a
We
head?
need to find a fresh human head.
Yes, I've smashed up the head of Wolfram rather frivolously. I'm afraid it's beyond rescue. I was thinking of my grandmother, Francesca Canosa. I'm sure you've seen her portrait in the study. She was buried some time ago, but her cranium should be sufficiently preserved.
Oh good, we have to go into
She
the
rests in the
mausoleum.
mausoleum in the cemetery outside, but there is a hidden way into the tomb behind the armor in the basement.
A woman's
Your
head.
grandmother. Will it not cause problems to attach a woman's head to a man's body?
No, I don't see how it would make any difference in this new race of ours. We do not even reproduce sexually, so not even that significance is relevant.
What do you mean we don't reproduce sexually? How do you know?
I spent quite some time with Wolfram dead and mindless, you know. I can safely say that, though we do experience all the physical sensations of intercourse, we cannot become pregnant or bear children.
I see. I'll go take a look behind the suit of armor.
Thank you.
Okay, what more
Some
questions
things
do
have
we
been
have?
puzzling me.
Did I used to have
Did
hair?
I used to have hair?
You had beautiful hair. Unfortunately, I had to shave it all off in order to operate on your head and open your cranium.
Yet you are not bald.
Yet you're not bald.
I was revivified directly after my death, when my body was still fresh. You, my dear, had been in the ground for quite some time. I had to reconstruct large parts of your decomposed corpse.
That explains the metal construction holding together my skull.
I have my fair share of screws and bolts myself, but they are carefully hidden. I opted to sacrifice your pretty hair so that I could work more on preserving your brain, something the good doctor did not do for me.
Will it grow back?
Will it grow back?
I don't rightly know. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
I want
I
to
want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
What is this I'm wearing?
is
I was
this
kind of
I'm
wondering that
wearing?
myself. She looks like she's
I'm
wearing
so
mummy
sorry
bandages.
About that. I covered you in scraps and bandages I found in the laboratory. I had to cut open and discard most of what you were buried in order to stitch you up. I want you to know that my plan was to be right next to you when you woke up, to help you understand and to find a proper dress. I'm so sorry it didn't come to pass like that.
On my way here, I killed a cat. Yeah, I kind of
On
feel
my
bad
way
about
in
that.
here, I killed a cat. It was in my way and it felt so natural to just dispose of it. It worries me a bit.
How so?
I may have a functional brain, but what about a soul? Shouldn't there be something in me stopping me from hurting others? Or at least making me feel bad about it?
You're right. It did come very natural for me to murder my husband. But I'm not too worried about this. I have no desire to commit unnecessary killings, and I do have control over my actions.
What if you are raising an army of cold-hearted mass murderers? That is a very good question.
What if you're raising an army of cold-hearted mass murderers?
They won't be mass murderers any more than you and I. And besides, why should we prioritize the lives of the living above the lives of the dead?
Maybe because you're frickin' dead?
I want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
Why did you put this wind-up mechanism in my head?
Why did you put this wind-up mechanism in my head? Yours is in your back.
Yes, the damned doctor had placed my wind-up mechanism in my back. It goes straight into my chest and heart, giving me a strong central of power. But it is placed outside my own reach.
So you can't turn it yourself?
So, you can't turn it yourself?
No, I can't. I have to depend on others. That's why I chose to put the key in the back of your head, well within reach of your own hands. I know what it means to not be in control of your own existence, and I will never put someone else in the situation I am in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
I want to ask something else.
I think we're all out of questions, actually.
I'll start
we're
looking
good.
for the objects then.
Thank you. Come talk to me if there's something you're unsure about.
Okay. I'm pretty sure... Okay, I think I know where we can get the clockwork stuff from. I'm guessing, interestingly enough, we can probably get it from the clock that's in the hallway. We walk so delicately. For a corpse.
I see a lot of mechanical parts in there. I need to get them out somehow.
Let's just try bashing it.
That makes no sense.
How about we try unscrewing it?
This faithful screwdriver will do the trick. Time to turn this old clock into a slightly peculiar wardrobe.
Okay, we've got our clockwork. Now let's go to the backyard and go get the old lady's head, shall we? So far, we have murder, we have animal slaughter, we have bringing the dead back to life, and now we're about to add grave robbery to this whole thing.
What a marvelous mausoleum. The plaque says Francisca Canosa. This must be the resting place of the lady from the portrait in the study.
Sorry, my fault. I forgot we have to go through the secret door in the basement behind Roland. That's right, I remembered what she called him. Alright, as hard as we work to get out of there, we're going right back in. Who would have thought we'd ended up right back down here again? Alright, let's go talk to Roland.
Belladonna was right. There is a secret switch behind Roland the poet. It's too dark down there. I won't
Well, it's
see
a
my
good
hands
thing
in
we
front
have a
of me
lantern.
unless I light the crypt up first. I can't just drop the lantern into the hole.
Ah,
It's
that's
gonna
why
break
we
when
have
it
the
hits
rope.
the bottom. If there is a bottom. I'll just tie this rope to the lantern. Yes, I can lower the lantern into
We're
the hole.
smart.
Amazing. I must be directly underneath the mausoleum and the cemetery.
Journal page. Wow,
can't
there's a
believe
journal
it.
page down here?
It's another letter. How did it end up down here?
That's what I was wondering. Ominous music. Yay. After insistent probing from my lady Belladonna, I too take to the pen come evening. The scribbling does not come as readily for me as it does for her, yet I do most certainly see the appeal in the activity. So much has happened in my life of late, my brain is overflowing with joy and secrets and disorder, and if I manage to write down a map of but a fraction of it all, that would be an enormous relief. Verily, it all centers around Belladonna, this queen, regnant of the castle, who has turned her benevolent face towards me, and thus filled my person with happiness I had previously thought unimaginable. I still remember the first time I saw her, standing next to her husband, when I took up work in the household, and I remember how she seemed to me to glow. The two of them lost a child shortly after that, and the tragedy would linger in the castle for a long time. All the other servants started to leave one by one, but as much as I wanted to, I found myself unable. I kept postponing my departure with each new day, and I found myself dancing around Belladonna's flame, drawn to it as strongly as I had been from that first glance. By the time she finally recovered from her melancholy, I was the only one left in the castle, and it was at this time the miracle happened. Belladonna saw me in a new way. This tempestuous affair, galloping and world-shaking, and yet so quiet, so hidden. The castle is ours to rule as we please, but only as long as we do not arouse the suspicion of the grave-robbing goblin in the basement. It is as if I have stepped into one of the fairy stories my grandmother used to tell. Britannia's stories always ended with someone losing their head or being eaten alive. Although seemingly everlasting, this bliss of ours, a seed of doubt, is growing in my heart. Belladonna is married after all, and who am I to break their wedlock? Theirs is not a happy union, true, but I am seducing my love to break her vows and soil her soul, and what wretched ruin will that bring upon us? For a long while Belladonna was all I dreamed about, my queen, my goddess, and my deepest wish was for her to let me into her life and let me worship her. I thought I would give up anything for that, but now that I am here, I wonder if I have sacrificed too much. Belladonna comes from high society, and she doesn't realize just how much she takes for granted. It is still clear who is the lady and who is the servant. Can I keep on living like this, or will I have to do the unthinkable and leave her? I made Belladonna promise not to read anything I wrote, and looking at what I have just put down in ink, the weight of that promise is clear. I have forged into words thoughts I did not know I had, and it is vital that these pages remain secluded from prying eyes. Secrets upon secrets. I shall hide this letter inside the old armor in the basement, whom I call Ronald, the Bard, where I doubt anyone will find it. I'm descending into that dungeon as soon as I'm done here, and I'll hide this note on my way, as the master has asked me to fetch for him a certain plant from the greenhouse. As strange as this whole situation is, I must still obey his request, if only to keep up appearances. So not only did he kill her using the Belladonna, he made her go fetch it, which is about like making a child go get his own Switch. Look at another creepy angel statue.
Are you the third sibling? What
Just
did you do to
don't
get
blink.
down here? Is your name Gwendolyn?
Alright, let's open this sarcophagus,
Francisca's
shall we?
coffin, but the lid is much too heavy for me to lift. Maybe I could break it open, but I'll need some sort of big hammer or mace for that.
I wonder if a candlestick will do.
The things one does for love.
Apparently so. And now we know what the bone saw is for.
You look very peaceful, but I do so need your head. How shall I remove it? With some surgical tool from the laboratory, perhaps?
Well, it just so happens we have a bone saw right here.
Now to carefully remove the head. It's remarkably well preserved.
That does not look like the head that was on that corpse just a second ago.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, back up we go. Now we need to go in here and get the brain.
The body of a deranged murderer, the decomposed head of an old lady, the brain of a small child. How could this possibly go wrong?
I know, right?
I'll call it Uric.
Do we need a skull? Okay, we don't need a skull.
Don't you worry, little pile of flesh and bones. We'll soon have you up and walking again.
I know I'm past my time, but I get the feeling that we're kind of close to the end here, so I'm just going to keep
Welcome
going.
to the lab of horrors.
I
I
have
have
the
Francisca's
head.
head.
Well done. Just give it to me and I will attach it to the neck.
I took some
Here's
parts
the
from
clockwork.
the old clock.
Well done. Let me put them into the creation.
Here's the
I
brain.
have the brain.
Well done. Please give it to me.
By the way,
I found something else in the crypt. Another note. One I'd written myself when I was alive. I think we need to talk.
What is the matter, dear?
dot dot dot.
It's just... forget it. It doesn't matter. Let's focus on what we're doing here.
Yes, let's get this creation moving.
Alright, I'll get going now.
Don't you worry, little pile of flesh and bones. We'll soon have you up and walking again. I'll let Belladonna handle that.
Oh, we gotta actually give it to her.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear.
I'll get going. Don't you worry, little...
Flip the switch now?
Now's not the time.
Oh, we forgot to give her the clockwork.
Thank you, dear. The creation is complete. All we need to do now is force life into these dead limbs. That big switch on the wall initiates the procedure. Will you have the honor, my dear?
Gladly.
Okay, so I suppose it's finally time to use the switch that we've been trying to use. Okay, yeah.
I've wanted to pull this thing since the first time I saw it.
I'm telling you, me too.
It's alive.
Well, that was kind of anticlimactic. I guess this is now our family of walking dead people. Alright, so that was Belladonna. I quite enjoyed that game. I loved solving the mystery of Belladonna and Clara and Wolfram. It was a very good game. It was very whimsical, very witty. It took a little bit of puzzle solving here and there. I wasn't very happy with the ending. I felt like the ending was a little anticlimactic. I think there could have been maybe a little more to it. Those eyes are still creepy, even though I now know that they're just eyes. Anyway, but yeah, that's Belladonna. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed Belladonna or not. If you have any other games you would like me to play, let me know in the comment section. And I appreciate you watching this playthrough of Belladonna with me. Do me a favor and press all those buttons for me. Like, subscribe, leave a comment or two. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.